Today on CSTV News, top stories, are students suffering from summertime sadness? World news in 60 seconds with Kendra Coons, and your recap of winter sports. Also, what would teachers be doing if they weren't teaching?
Is John going to stop asking questions so we can start the news? All this and more on this week's CSTV News. Hi, I'm John Spangenberg.
And I'm John DeLue. Welcome to CSTV News. So John, what do you think the teachers would be doing if they weren't teaching?
Well, John, I think they'd be sleeping in.
Well, let's see what Whitney has to say about the matter.
Good afternoon, Cedar Springs High School. As previously stated, I'm Shelby Streamus. As we are heading into the last trimester of the school year, not only is spring on its way, but another type of growth is happening in our lives. As graduation day grows closer, many seniors are overwhelmed with many questions about the future. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Who am I going to be? So we went around and asked some of your elementary, middle, and high school teachers what they wanted to be when they were younger.
I wanted to be a football coach.
I wanted to be a band director.
I started out wanting to be a farmer.
I would say probably a police officer.
I always want to be a mountain climber.
I wanted to be married to John Lennon.
I wanted to be a tennis player. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a vet. I wanted to be everything.
I really wanted to be a truck driver.
My dad was sort of a preacher. Kind of thought I'd be a preacher sort of person.
A professional athlete, specifically a professional football player.
Fireman or a police officer probably would have been the first choices.
I would say that I wanted to be either a pro athlete or a lawyer, I think.
I wanted to be a baseball player.
I had aspirations of being an architect at one point in time, and I thought engineering would be cool, and a physics professor someday.
When I was a little girl and I was 4 years old, I always wanted to be a school teacher.
I wanted to be a veterinarian.
As you can see, we aren't the only ones who had dreams as children. Whether you already know what you want to do, or if you're still a little undecided, everything will work out if you find out what you love and chase after it. This has been Shelby Streamus, now back to you.
Thanks, Whitney. You know what sounds good, John? Some warm weather, maybe a trip to the beach, lathering up the sunscreen lotion. Are you tired of winter?
I am indeed. Let's see what kinds of summertime sadness the school has been suffering with Beth Bullen.
Hi, I'm Beth Bullen with CSTV News, and as we enter into our 6th month with snow on the ground, we need to remember that summer is still a real thing. Believe it or not, it's coming up. I know we've missed some of our favorite summertime activities like riding a bike, getting ice cream, or camping. Here's a quick reminder of what summer looks like in Michigan.
Don't forget you can see people up close and active in the summer. During the summer, there are lots of different activities to do outside and with nature. Nothing is a better refresher than jumping into a freezing cold pool or lake. It's a great way to cool off. After you've cooled off, tanning comes next. Lay out on that towel, slap on some sunscreen, and soak up the sun.
I woke up in a new Bugatti.
Another thing we often see in the summer is the warm summer drives, windows down enjoying the music. Whether someone is heading to work or the beach, the bright sun makes for a good mood and a good drive to anywhere.
Even though the snow is just starting to melt, don't lose sight of summer. The temperature is starting to rise, a sure sign that summer is coming. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Beth. Summertime does sound nice. Now let's turn the tables to a more serious matter. Could there be World War III? Will all the melting ice in Michigan turn our state into an underwater abyss? The World News in 60 seconds brought to you by Kendra Coons. Take it away, Kendra.
Hello, this is Kendra Coons with CSTV News. There have been many interesting events that have been happening locally and around the world this week. First off, due to so much snow and ice in winter 2014, federal officials are predicting a huge spring flooding this year. As of right now, 91% of the Great Lakes are covered in solid ice. And federal officials are also saying even if this melt does not end up happening, this winter's deep freeze can make the spring colder than normal, with winds whipping off the Great Lakes continuing to keep communities pretty chilly. We are not positive what will happen come spring, but one thing is for sure, we have had one heck of a winter. Somewhere in Asian waters, a Malaysian Airlines plane has gone missing. The plane departed at 12:41 Saturday, March 8th. The plane has been missing for a total of 2 days as of March 10th. The aircraft had 227 passengers and 12 crew members aboard. 2 of the passengers that boarded the plane were using false passports and identities. Officials are wondering if these are behind the plane's disappearance. Also across the globe is the uprising in Ukraine. On February 28th, the Ukraine parliament voted their leader out of power and he fled to Russia. Russia has now become heavily involved in the situation. There is not much fellow countries like the US can do. As of right now, the situation seems to be getting worse. It has become so serious that it may evolve into World War III. This has been Kendra Coons with CSTV News. Now back to you guys.
Thanks, Kendra. What do you think, John? Are we headed to another world war?
Well, I don't know about that. All I do know is America. So much has happened in the last few months in this particular category. Lots of excitement, thrills, and bittersweet finishes. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about, John?
None whatsoever.
Sports. It's time for sports. Let's throw it to Derek Liggett for the deets.
Hi, this is Derek Liggett from CSTV Sports, and this is a wrap-up of our winter sports. This year, basketball had a winning season of 12 wins and 8 losses. Unfortunately, they lost in the first round of districts to Rockford, making them 12-9. Girls basketball had an unfortunate season this year, ending 6-14. Wrestling finished on a positive note with a 14-11 record and a 3-1 in conference, with many wrestlers advancing individually. Now over to Mitch Hamner with the sophomore wrestler Anthony Topolsky.
Thank you, Derek. I'm Mitch Hamner here at CSTV Sports, interviewing wrestler Anthony Topolsky. Anthony, how did your season end up going?
My season actually, it was pretty good for what I thought I was going to do, because I started out wrestling last year, freshman year, and I had a positive record, and my coach told me that I improved a lot from last year, and I'm actually pretty satisfied about that. And I'm looking forward to wrestling the next 2 years in high school.
Great work. Did you have any individuals go on past districts?
Yeah, we had freshman Jordan Ringler, and then we had junior Logan McGann, and then junior Zach Wamser, and senior Baron Leonardson went on past districts.
Sounds like you guys did great. What can we expect from next year's wrestling team?
I'm sure that next year's wrestling team is going to be a pretty tough one. I think we have a chance on beating Greenville for districts, because that's the only tough team that we have, and because there's a lot of new wrestlers that are coming up from middle school, so I'm looking forward to next year.
Sounds great. We're all excited. Thank you very much, and good luck with your next season. Back to you guys.
Another winter sport to end this season was competitive cheer. They made it to districts and averaged third through their season. Bowling ended their season with a record of 8 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie, and a 6-2 in conference. Now over to Brett Markowski with the sophomore bowler, Jared Plank.
Hi, this is Brett Markowski from CSTV Sports. I have here Jared Plank from the bowling team. So, Jared, how has your season been?
It's been good. This year we qualified for state.
All right. How does it compare to the previous year?
Well, we've never gone to state before, so it's a good step.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. So what are your goals for next year?
To maintain a 190 average.
All right. So this has been Brett Markowski from CSTV Sports. Back to you.
Cedar Springs varsity hockey team has not finished their season yet, but have a current record of 22 wins, 5 losses, and 1 tie, winning districts and multiple other tournaments. This has been Derek Liggett from CSTV Sports. Back to you guys.
Great job, Derek. Keep it up.
Well, that about sums up your CSTV News. Let's end it with some information on what's coming up in our neck of the woods. Thanks for watching the CSTV News. I'm John Spangenberg.
And I'm John DeLue.
And it's a great day
to be a Red Hawk.
There you go, you're done.
Yeah! Me gusta.